Today, we mourn the passing of one of the most iconic and innovative figures in music history, the legendary Sly Stone, a groundbreaking musician, visionary songwriter, and pioneering record producer. Sly changed the face of music forever with his infectious grooves, deep social commentary, and electrifying stage presence. In this video, we will take a deep dive into the extraordinary life and legacy of Sly Stone. From his humble beginnings to the heights of stardom, his personal struggles, and the lasting influence he leaves behind. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt tributes and in-depth biographies of legendary artists who shape our world. Sylvester Stewart, known professionally as Sly Stone, was born on March 15, 1943, in Denton, Texas, to Casey and Alfred Stewart, a deeply religious couple who instilled in their children the importance of faith, discipline, and music. The Stewart family eventually relocated to Vallejo, California, where Sly grew up in a musical household alongside his siblings Freddie, Rose, Vedder, and Loretta, all of whom would later play a role in his musical journey. Sly's early immersion in gospel music came through his family's participation in the Church of God in Christ, where he developed a foundation in spiritual and vocal music. As a child prodigy, he played piano, guitar, drums, and bass. By the age of 11, Sly had already recorded a gospel single, "On the Battlefield for My Lord," with his siblings under the name The Stewart Four. Education and early musical exploration. Stone attended Vallejo High School, where he was already gaining attention for his musical prowess and eccentric style. He then pursued formal music studies at Vallejo Junior College, focusing on music theory and composition. During this time, he played in several local bands and absorbed the emerging sounds of rock and roll, R&B, jazz, and soul. His early professional career began in the early 1960s as a disc jockey at San Francisco's KSOL radio station, where he became known for his charisma and eclectic music sets. As a DJ, Sly broke racial and genre boundaries by playing white rock acts alongside traditional R&B artists. This openness to fusion would become central to his musical philosophy. The birth of Sly and the Family Stone. In 1966, Sly formed a band that would revolutionize the music world. Sly and the Family Stone. The group was notable not just for its innovative sound, but also for its makeup. It was one of the first major American bands to feature a racially integrated and gender-diverse lineup, with members including Sly's siblings Freddie guitar and Rose Stone keyboard, vocals, Larry Graham bass, Gregory Coe drums, Jerry Martini saxophone, and Cynthia Robinson trumpet. Their debut album, A Whole New Thing 1967, received modest attention, but it was their second release, Dance to the Music 1968, that propelled them into stardom. The title track became a major hit and introduced their signature blend of funk, soul, rock, and psychedelia. Their next albums, Life 1968 and Stand 1969, included timeless tracks like Everyday People, Sing a Simple Song, and I Want to Take You Higher, firmly establishing the band's influence and commercial appeal. Innovation and social commentary. Sly and the Family Stone broke new ground musically and socially. Their songs often dealt with themes of unity, peace, social justice, and empowerment, mirroring the zeitgeist of the late 1960s and early 1970s. With his charismatic leadership, wild stage costumes, and fearless musical experimentation, Sly Stone became a countercultural icon and funk innovator. In 1969, the band's performance at Woodstock became legendary. Taking the stage at around 3 a.m., they energized the crowd with a powerful set that included I Want to Take You Higher, turning the performance into one of the festival's most memorable moments. There's a riot going on and Declinias. The 1970s began. The optimism of the 60s gave way to political disillusionment and social unrest. This shift was mirrored in the band's music. Their 1971 masterpiece, There's a Riot Going On, was a stark, introspective, an hauntingly beautiful album that reflected Sly's growing disenchantment with the world. Songs like Family Affair and Thank You for Talking to Me Africa showcased a darker, more complex sound using drum machines, layered overdubs, and gritty textures. However, this period also marked the beginning of Sly Stone's personal and professional decline. Increasingly erratic behavior, fueled by substance abuse, particularly cocaine and PCP, started affecting his reliability and performances. Band members grew frustrated with his lateness, paranoia, and unreliability. Original members Larry Graham and Gregory Coe eventually left due to internal conflicts and Sly's erratic leadership. Later career and disappearance from the spotlight throughout the 1970s. Sly released several more albums, including Fresh, 1973 and Small Talk 1974, which received critical acclaim but couldn't match the impact of earlier work. By the late 70s, Sly disbanded the family Stone and pursued a solo career with limited success. His 1975 solo album, High on You, though featuring some brilliant moments, did not revive his commercial standing. Sly continued to struggle with addiction, and his public appearances grew increasingly rare. Despite occasional collaborations such as with George Clinton's Parliament Funkadelic and a few performances in the 1980s and 1990s, he remained largely reclusive. Personal life, wife, and children. Sly Stone's personal life was as flamboyant and complex as his music. He married Kathy Silver in 1974 in a highly publicized ceremony at Madison Square Garden during a concert. The marriage was short-lived, lasting only a couple of years, and they had one son, Sylvester J. He later had additional children from other relationships, though he remained intensely private about his family life in later years. Struggles, illness, and later years 1970s also brought with them a deepening struggle with drug addiction, primarily cocaine and PCP, which led to erratic behavior, missed concerts, and internal conflict within the band. By the late 1970s, Sly's commercial success had waned, and he became reclusive. He made sporadic appearances in the 1980s and 1990s, but largely lived away from the spotlight. In 2006, he made a surprise appearance at the Grammy Awards, a rare public outing that reignited interest in his legacy. In later years, Sly battled various health issues, including addiction-related complications, mental health disorders, and mobility problems. He reportedly lived in near homelessness for a period, living out of a van in Los Angeles, despite having once amassed considerable fame and fortune. Death and causes. Sly Stone passed away on June 9, 2025, at the age of 82, after a long battle with chronic illness and complications from his years of substance abuse. He died peacefully, according to family sources, surrounded by loved ones, legal and financial issues. In 2010, Sly sued his former manager and record label for misappropriation of royalties, claiming he had been denied millions in earnings, though he was initially awarded $5 million in a 2015 court ruling. Much of that judgment was later overturned, leaving Sly in continued financial straits. His legal battles and destitution were heartbreaking for fans who saw a musical genius brought low by addiction, mismanagement, and personal demons. Comeback and Memoir. In the 2000s and 2010s, there were rumors of a comeback, with brief performances and appearances, including a controversial and short-lived appearance at the 2006 Grammy Awards during a tribute to his music. He looked frail and disappeared shortly after his song began. In 2023, Sly Stone finally released a long-awaited memoir, Thank You for Letting Be Myself Again, co-written with journalist Ben Greenman. The book offered a candid, often poetic, look at his life, detailing his rise, fall, struggles with addiction, and reflections on fame and music. Critics praised the memoir for its honesty and surreal, introspective style, which mirrored Sly's artistry. Legacy. Sly Stone's impact on music cannot be overstated. He was a pioneer of funk, a visionary of racial integration, and a messenger of social change through sound. Artists from Prince to Michael Jackson, Dr. Dre to Kendrick Lamar, all owe a debt to Sly's innovation in rhythm, harmony, and political consciousness. He was also one of the first Black artists to insist on complete creative control over his music, producing, writing, and performing with little compromise. Sly Stone was more than just a musician. He was a cultural force, a rebel with a cause, and a voice for an entire generation. His music continues to echo through the corridors of time, reminding us to stand for love, unity, and truth. Thank you for watching this heartfelt tribute to the one and only Sly Stone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more legendary life stories. Rest in funk, Sly. Funk, Sly.